Good morning, everybody. It is Monday, January 31st, 10 a.m. I'm going to go ahead and call this meeting to order. Thank you, board members, board colleagues, staff, for joining us for this special meeting this morning on short notice. And I know Mr. Goheen's going to join us here shortly. He had another conflict, but he'll be joining us as well. So, but in the meantime, again, good morning. Welcome to anyone that's joining us and watching from the community as well. We'll go ahead and call this meeting to order. And I'll read our board norms and protocols as we do at every meeting. As a board, we agree to respect the differences of opinions in making decisions for the district, to follow best practices in managing the superintendent and the management of the board itself, to stay on task when conducting business for the district, including while at board meetings, to never surprise the superintendent or each other when conducting official business of the district, to read these norms at the beginning of each board meeting and at board workshops as a reminder of how to conduct our meetings, and to continually self-check to determine if we are following our norms when conducting district business. Again, good morning and welcome, everybody. Thank you for joining us. Ms. Smith, would you please do a roll call?
Yolanda Clark.
Yolanda Clark, present.
Thank you. Maxine Drew.
Maxine Drew, present.
Janey Humphries.
Janey Humphries, present.
Randy Lopez.
Randy Lopez, present.
Wanda Paige.
Wanda Paige, present.
Rachel Russell.
Rachel Russell, present.
Dr. Wynn.
Dr. Wynn, present.
Thank you.
Great. Again, thank you. Good morning, everyone. Good to see you all. I'd entertain a motion to approve today's special agenda.
So moved.
Second.
Moved and seconded. Questions or discussion? Not Ms. Smith, roll call, please.
Yolanda Clark.
Yolanda Clark, yes.
Maxine Drew.
Maxine Drew, yes.
Janey Humphries.
Janey Humphries, yes.
Randy Lopez.
Randy Lopez, yes.
Wanda Paige.
Wanda Paige, yes.
Rachel Russell.
Rachel Russell, yes.
Dr. Wynn.
Dr. Wynn, yes.
Thank you.
Great, motion carries. Thank you. So we'll go ahead and jump right into our special agenda this morning. First up is our consent agenda, which we have our HR report and recommendations. So would entertain a motion to approve the HR report and recommendations.
So moved.
Second.
Moved and seconded. Any questions or discussion? Hearing none, seeing none. Ms. Smith, roll call, please.
Yolanda Clark.
Yolanda Clark, yes.
Maxine Drew.
Maxine Drew, yes.
Janey Humphries.
Janey Humphries, yes.
Randy Lopez.
Randy Lopez, yes.
Wanda Paige.
Wanda Paige, yes.
Rachel Russell.
Rachel Russell, yes.
Dr. Wynn.
Dr. Wynn, yes.
Thank you.
Motion carries. Thank you so much, everybody. Next on our agenda is for our board updates and approvals. Board, if you'll recall, this item has come before the board at a previous board meeting around Imagine Learning, which is submitted by Ms. Jacqueline Rodriguez, Director of ESOL and Migrant Programs, and Dr. Anna Stubblefield, our Superintendent of Schools. Again, this had been presented a couple of board meetings ago, and so it's being brought before us again today, requesting approval of Imagine Learning and Literacy programs. So Dr. Stubblefield or Ms. Rodriguez, anything that you would like to add regarding the proposed recommendation?
I don't have anything to add.
No, I don't have anything to add, but I'm welcome any questions that may come up.
Thank you both. So board, this is coming forward for approval or recommended for approval. If that's the will of the board, if there's a motion, and then we can open up for discussion as well.
Move to approve.
I second it.
Moved by Ms. Humphries, seconded by Ms. Drew. Would open up the floor for any questions or discussion.
Mr. Lopez, I'll ask the question I always ask of Dr. Stubblefield, I guess, and Ms. Rodriguez. What data do we have of usage? I see the licenses and any data we have on results.
Sure, I can answer that question. We have been running a pilot for usage across the district at 5 pilot buildings, and those were listed on the submission of it. And what we have found is that when we kind of utilize Imagine Learning for specific subgroups and not for the whole group, we don't have as effective data. But then we have, over the last year, had buildings move forward with building licenses, and we're able to provide those as well for our grant funding at the 6 pilot buildings. And when we see implementation and fidelity, we see lots of growth there with that model. So that's why we're moving forward with wanting to pilot a larger group with building licenses, and then ensuring that there's a set time within the day for the instructional practice, as well as pushing lots of training for our new staff. Imagine Learning isn't new to the district, but we do have staff that haven't been trained on that. So we'll have some packages available for those staff members to assist with the implementation process, as well as instructional coaching.
Okay, so thank you. And based on what you just said, what is the data you have that it was not as successful when you pulled out just the subgroups?
Oh, so what we see is that our students do grow, and we're hitting the Imagine Learning vocabulary. Those students that use it with fidelity, we're seeing 3 to 4 points of growth with that subgroup of our English language learners. That's
Okay,
allowing them access.
Okay, so I'll unpeel that onion one more time. How can you document that growth? How do you document it?
Oh,
how is it documented?
Sure, we receive a quarterly report from Imagine Learning of the growth in the usage. We're able to pull that directly from the software as well.
And then how do you schedule, when is the training scheduled? And do the teachers know that are they required, or that you just suggest that they do that?
So we are not requiring any training, but we are, with the collaboration of Imagine Learning, bringing in what we're calling Imagine Learning champions, and we would be paying those staff members to participate in the training to kind of be the champion in the building. And this is a model that we've used before.
And
okay, and help me understand. Yeah, go ahead.
Dr. Nguyen, I will add that me understanding like the optional versus, we are shifting from that. Dr. Campbell and I are these types of things that's built in why we'll build it in to our professional development plan to ensure that it's not just the time when staff is off, but looking at the days that we have, like at the beginning of the year, and offering pay in the summer, but building it into the professional development days that we have. We did on the last calendar add a little more to professional development time in some ways. So we just need to strategically make sure for the things that we are saying we're implementing with fidelity, that we are providing the professional development time job embedded professional development, so it's not optional for teachers. But we have looked at that, and we'll be more strategic about making sure that all teachers receive the appropriate training.
And thank you for that, because just saying fidelity that word is thrown around a lot. But when do you plan on implementing it?
Implementing Imagine Learning, is that the question?
The training. If it's not required now, then how many teachers are not doing it? And if it is going to be put into the professional development, when is that going to happen? And have they been informed that this is no longer an option? And I don't know if that's your question, Dr. Stubblefield.
Well, looking at, because the Wednesdays and professional development for this year was already planned, we would start with whatever flexibility we have for the Wednesdays this year, but moving into next year, we're just building out those trainings when they come back with their contracts, and then rolling it into our regular professional development days moving forward. Jackie can speak to the number of like her ESOL staff. They have been trained if they were doing it in those buildings. It's more of the building wide trainings that we just need to build it in those areas.
But we're purchasing this now or for next year?
For now. So we'll have our first training right around that scheduled for that week of February 10th. And that will be for the 40 staff members. But then because this is an instructional piece, we will be able to provide that professional development with the ESL coaches and the Imagine Learning consultants through PLC time, because it should be something that we're planning to use within that instructional time. So it would be that job embedded PLC training that they'll also receive for this year. And then for next year, we'll provide deeper training based off of the feedback that we receive from the buildings that are piloting now.
And thank you. Just two last questions. Is this just for ESOL? And is it just 1 year? Are these licenses for 1 year?
This current package is just for the 1 year. As we're moving through our MTSS, trying to figure out what the best resource is for that tier 2 intervention. Our hope is to be able to extend this to all of our buildings as a resource. It is focused for our English language learners, but is appropriate for all of our learners. And that's why we're moving towards the building licenses to support with that fidelity implementation. Because in our current pilot buildings that we are only using the licenses for ESL students, we do see the usage go down as it's not available for all students.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you, Dr. Nguyen. Thank you, Ms. Rodriguez, Dr. Stubblefield. Further questions? Seeing no questions, we'll go ahead and ask Ms. Smith to take a roll call. As always, board, if you do have other questions that pop up after the meeting, you can always send those to Dr. Stubblefield and we'll get those answered for you. So Ms. Smith, roll call, please.
Yolanda Clark,
Yolanda Clark, yes.
Maxine Drew,
Maxine Drew, yes.
Janey Humphries,
Janey, yes.
Randy Lopez,
Randy Lopez, yes.
Wanda Paige,
Wanda Paige, yes.
Rachel Russell,
Rachel Russell, yes.
Dr. Nguyen.
Dr. Nguyen, yes.
Thank you.
Great, motion carries. Thank you so much, board. And thank you again, Ms. Rodriguez and Dr. Stubblefield for the information and team. Thank you. So that ends our agenda. Just a reminder, board, this week we have our agenda prep on Wednesday. So if you were signed up to attend that, please make sure that's on your calendar via Zoom. And then we will have our regularly scheduled board meeting next Tuesday. So lots going on. Please make sure you continue to watch your emails as we communicate different items coming forward to you. And if you were planning, Dr. Stubblefield did mention, we'll be communicating with you regarding Wednesday afternoon's event. Due to the potential snow, we may reschedule that. So just keep an eye out for an email communication regarding the Learn to Swim program. So with that, unless there's any other, anything else that we need to, okay. And I'm sorry, Mr. Goheen had a little trouble getting on this morning. He was texting me. So I apologize that he didn't make it this morning, but everyone enjoy the rest of your Monday and have a great week, and we'll talk to you soon. This meeting is adjourned. Thank you.